So Chris Painting is a high volume apartment painting company. We focus on doing apartment turns in college communities. Right now we're across the state of Indiana. Hope to one day expand nationally. We'll see if we get there. But we do, when all the students move out, we go in, hire a bunch of people, and we paint all the apartments here in West Lafayette. We also do it down in Bloomington, and we do it in Indianapolis as well. I decided to become an entrepreneur because I am really interested in innovation, and not just from my background's in engineering, not just from an engineering or technology perspective, but innovation in general, figuring out how to do things more efficiently or improving quality on things. And from my past experience working for large companies, it's very, very difficult to try and pursue very innovative things within a company. It depends a lot on things outside of your control, such as the culture, your position or role in the company, and your ability to influence others. If you own your own company, you have a lot more control over those things, and that allows you to try some of these more innovative things that you wouldn't get to do otherwise. A couple of years ago, my brother had, while he was in school, he had worked for another painting company, and he always felt like it was a good business it was a seasonal business, so you can make most of your money during the summer, and then you have the rest of the year to work on, like I said, these riskier, more innovative things that you otherwise may not be. You have to be able to support yourself while you're working on these things. And if they don't work out, then you're in a world of hurt. So by being able to run a seasonal business, that gave us the best of both worlds. We were able to support ourselves and have free time to work on these more innovative things. Money, getting off the ground. When a business grows, it constantly requires more and more money to continue to grow. And if you grow too fast, money becomes an issue for the opposite reason of you need to grow, you need to invest in vehicles and a shop and things like that. And there's kind of a delay in when you do the work for our business and when you get paid versus when that money comes in. So it's always a challenge for growing pains. I think any small business owner would tell you the same thing. Ironically, money again. The fact that there are some things that you think you need X amount of dollars to do something, but when you're kind of being squeezed and you face constraints, you find really, really creative ways to do things that would otherwise be very difficult to do. An example is the boxes that we built. Instead of contracting with an engineering firm to do them, we just figured out how to build them ourselves. These boxes have saved us 15 to 20% on our labor for our painting business. So saved a lot of money doing those ourselves. My brother and I, we put in a little bit of our own money to pay for initial equipment, promotional materials, insurance, business insurance, legalization costs to form the company. Those types of things are more or less kind of standard for any company. I think to start up, you have to take care of all those things first. No. I've had experience writing business plans in the past, and the thing is, when you start your own business, it might be good to write down 1 or 2 pages, especially if you have a silent investor who's providing the financing for your business or something like that, to just kind of put everyone on the same page as to where the business is going. But you dance and jump through so many hoops when you're starting up your business that if you write a 20-page business plan, 90% of it you're not gonna end up following. when you actually go out and try to start your business. Yeah, and it's interesting. We've seen between the different markets that we're in, the Bloomington market, the Indianapolis market, and the Lafayette market. Lafayette is by far the most competitive for painting. Bloomington, there seems to be a shortage of painters, which has worked out really, really well for us there. And Indianapolis is big on both sides of the fence. There's a lot of painters in the area, and there's a lot more work in the area because it's a bigger city. So it's there's an interesting dynamic in all those three different cities, but competition does play a very real role in our business right now, because painting services are not unique. Pretty much anyone can go out and buy a roller and a paintbrush at Sherwin-Williams and start painting. So the way we differentiate ourselves is, obviously, we want to do a good job quality-wise, but also being able to operate more efficiently than just about everyone else is a big factor there as well.
Great. Now, are you happy with where your business is now?
Yeah, I think as a business owner, you always have a vision of an ever-expanding vision of how you want your business to be and how big you want it to be, and you check off your goals for the day, the week, the month, the year, and as soon as those are checked off, you're thinking about new goals that you're trying to achieve to grow your business more. And it's not just from trying to grow your business to make more money, but part of it also for us, like I mentioned, the boxes and some of the other tools that we're working on, is just to kind of change how things are done and do things a little bit better than our competitors have done in the past. That's hard to say. We've definitely learned lessons over the past couple of years. And some of the things, one of the big things that's never really talked about with entrepreneurship is risk management. Learning how to manage your risk and your exposure, and what all that entails. There's not only risk is typically handled through like insurance and stuff like that, but there's so many other aspects of risk that you have to consider as an entrepreneur. Are you going to have, for us as a painting business, are you going to have enough painters to handle all your work for the summer? Are your complexes, are they all happy with your work? If sometimes big property management companies have multiple properties in one town, and if you're working for one complex and they're really happy with you, and then there are other properties from that company pick you up, that's great because you're picking up a lot of work very easily. But then also if you run into issues with one of those properties, you could potentially lose all those properties as well. So that's a balancing act as well you have to consider. When you contract out with other firms as well for services, there's a lot that goes into managing that too. Even your legal services, your accounting services, your bookkeeping, insurance services, all those types of things. There's a lot of work that goes into managing the risk that comes with those small businesses, working with your partners in those areas as well. Sometimes you have to kind of keep an eye on them. Some of them are great. If you find good partners in those areas, stick with them, because can be hard to find. So. Go out and do it.